Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Marie, and in this video I'll show you how to make the best vegan gluten-free baked bean recipe. These baked beans are sweet, spicy, smoky, and cheesy, and will easily become a staple of your holiday menu. My family absolutely loves them and was very upset when I decided not to make them one year, so needless to say that won't be happening again. Once you've made this recipe, you'll see how delicious these baked beans are and why they're in such demand. So let's go ahead and get started. But first, I want to give a shout out to Grandma Linda for introducing me to this fabulous recipe. After enjoying it for many years, I veganized it, made it refined sugar-free, and added a few personal touches, and that's what I'm sharing with you now. So I'm going to start by preparing the tofu bacon. And to do this, first I drain the tofu and then I wrap it snugly in some paper towels and a dish towel and compress it under a weighted object for about 15 to 20 minutes while I go ahead and prepare the marinade. So to a large container, I've added 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of tamari, and for those of you who don't know, tamari is just a gluten-free soy sauce, which is really delicious, by the way. Then I'll add in 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke, 1 teaspoon of maple extract, and then I'll just whisk it up and set it aside for a while. So after about 15 or 20 minutes, I'm now ready to slice the tofu. So I slice my tofu with a cheese slicer because it works really well. And this time I'm going to go ahead and cut them down into bits. So it will be more like bacon bits in the baked beans. And then I'll put the tofu bits into the marinade and mix them really well to thoroughly coat all the surfaces of the tofu. And then I'll just pop that into the fridge. So I set my oven to preheat at 400 degrees Fahrenheit while I cut and dice a sweet onion. And I'm going to go ahead and measure out 1 cup of chopped onion and just set that aside. And it smells really good. It's strong, but it smells really good. And it's got to add a little bit of punch to the baked beans. So then I prepared a large baking sheet with some parchment paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and spread out the tofu bits onto the parchment paper and just try to spread them out as evenly as possible. And then I went ahead and popped those in the oven for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, I did remove the tofu bacon from the oven so that I could go ahead and flip them over so the other sides and surfaces could also get cooked well, could also get browned. And so I've got 2 7-ounce packages of Follow Your Heart smoked Gouda. And I went ahead and just grated those down. And then I set them in a bowl and set them aside. Okay, so I went ahead and I drained a 15-ounce can of vegan chili beans and a 15-ounce can of navy beans. And so I'm going to go ahead and add those to a crock pot. Chili beans, and these are obviously no meat chili beans. They're just basically like some pinto beans with some chili, and the navy beans. And the original recipe is a can of pork and beans, but I discovered that the main bean in pork and beans is navy beans, so it's going to work. And then I measured out 8 ounces of enchilada sauce. You can make your own. This is just a store-bought brand that I bought because obviously on the holidays you're going to be probably doing a lot of preparation and making a lot of different dishes, so shortcuts can be nice. This is a 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. So we've got most of our spicy, and now we're doing the sweet. 1/2 cup coconut sugar, and then we're going to go ahead. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon. So you want 2 teaspoons of chili powder, and so I like to mix. I can never decide which is my favorite, so I'm doing a teaspoon each of chipotle, and then I've got some ancho chili powder here. One of them is kind of sweet and one of them is kind of more smoky, and I really like that combination. And there's already a lot of that going on in this recipe, so I think it's It's gonna pair well. And then we have our liquid smoke, and that is just a 1/4 teaspoon of liquid smoke. And a 1/4 teaspoon of maple extract. And of course, if you don't have maple flavoring or extract, you can go ahead and use real maple syrup too. That will definitely work. Oh my gosh, it already smells good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a nice stir. It smells amazing. Oh, also, well, now that we've got all that combined well, we have our 1 cup of chopped onions. Go ahead and add those in. Okay. Oh, wow. Whew. Smells so good. All right, so I am going to go ahead and let this cook for 45 minutes on low, and then we'll go ahead and add in our bacon and our cheese and see how it's doing. I'll see you soon. Okay, so it has been 45 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and check on the beans here. Oh my goodness. Whew, they already smell really rich. I'm getting excited. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in the 2 cups of smoked Gouda. I just love how the cheese just gets all melty and blended in. It actually changes the texture a little bit too. It makes them kind of like more creamy, I guess. It's hard to explain. They're absolutely delicious though, I will say that. Okay, let's go ahead and give that a stir. I hadn't tried it before using a mixture of chipotle chili and ancho. For the longest time, I basically just used like California and New Mexico chilies, and that powder is good as well, and I used it to make enchiladas for years. But I don't know, recently something piqued my interest, and I wanted to look into trying some different types of chili powder. So I think it was for my Spanish rice. Oh, I'm gonna have to do one. I have a wonderful vegan Spanish rice recipe. Super easy and just so delicious. And that's when I started. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to use. So that's when I started using both. And it's a really great combination. Okay, so that is mixed in. And now we're gonna go ahead and add our bacon also. Should be pretty easy. Just fold the parchment here and just slide them on in there. Oh my gosh. Let's see if this will last a little longer than my cheesy broccoli casserole did. Because I finished that in 2 nights. Wow. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and let this cook for another 15 minutes. Let that cheese get all melty and gooey and ooey, and then we'll check it out and see how it's coming. Okay, so let's have a look-see. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Look at it bubbling up over there. Wow. Oh, see how the cheese got all nice and melty? Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Wow. Let's see if I can snag a taste here without burning my taste buds off. Oh my gosh. Best yet. Woo! This is so good. So I did make some modifications, guys. What I actually ended up doing was I did pre-taste it, and it was a bit spicy, delicious, but this was the first time that I had used the combination of the ancho chili and the chipotle chili. So it came out spicier than usual, but not too hot for me. And I know my family's gonna love it. But if you're sensitive to heat, you may want to consider either halving the amount of chili powder or using a different chili powder that is a bit more on the mild side. But what I did is I felt I needed to balance out the flavors since it was leaning on to the spicy side, and I went ahead and added in another tablespoon of coconut sugar and a tablespoon of real maple syrup and a half a teaspoon of stevia. I have a sweet tooth and I really enjoy these really sweet, so I did bump up the sweetness factor quite a bit. And I noticed something that I hadn't noticed before is that since we're not actually using dairy cheese in this recipe, it's kind of lacking a fatty factor, and so I didn't want it to end up drying out. So I went ahead and added a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil right into the beans. I love toasted sesame oil. I use it a lot because it's very strongly umami, and I feel like it's an excellent replacement for the type of animal-derived flavors that you kind of miss out on when you cook this way. But if it's a little too strong for you, I would recommend adding in some type of neutral oil, just a tablespoon. I would not use olive oil. I love olive oil. However, it does have a very strong and distinct flavor of its own. So I would recommend using like perhaps some avocado oil or some other type of neutral oil, maybe like a grapeseed oil or something like that. I think avocado oil would work really well though. So yeah, these turned out bomb. This is the best version yet that I've made of this. Oh, another note is if you want to keep the bacon bits a little crispier, you can go ahead and add them in at the end. I have done that before as well. But I kind of did like them getting kind of a little more softened and chewy while they cooked along with the cheese. So either way, or maybe even do half and half, you know, you can make this your recipe, have fun with it, enjoy it. It is so delicious. Whatever you do make this recipe. And for more holiday and Friendsgiving meal ideas, be sure to check out this video of my vegan, gluten-free cheddar broccoli casserole. And be sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel because there's more to come. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you soon.